Good morning, it's Bruce Ferris here with Windermere Real Estate. It's the 11th of February. We're going to take a quick look at the statistics that we do on a daily basis. This is our weekly report, however, and we track all properties coming into the market and going out of the market that are residential, that are in the area between 145th in the north and Othello in the south, east to west, water to water. So in this last week, 128 properties came onto the market in a 7-day time period. Our pending inspections, our pendings, and our 6-day pending and pending inspections, we track those as well. We see that the pending inspection contingency properties are slowly on the rise here. We had a surge here with our newly actives, which was one of the highest sets of numbers since well before the holidays, November, etc. Our pendings are continuing to be pushing upwards, and our pending inspections are staying strong. We got 53 here on the 7-day time period, and how that impacts us here, let's go over to this number right here, and we'll look at 41% 6-day percentage to new active weekly. So 41%, that means that our number right here, forgive me, is 53 versus 128. 128 new properties came on market, but at the same time frame, 53 properties went off market in 6 days or less. 79 went into pending status, but 40 of them went into pending inspection status. So looking at these three sets of numbers, we have a fairly seller-friendly marketplace, and that's what we're going to call it for this week. Let's go ahead and move on to the next grouping here. We're going to slice the market apart here. We're going to look at, again, 145th down to Othello, and I'm going to look at a series of different criteria to look at things. I'm looking at anything that went off market from January 1st of this year. And I'm looking, first of all, for those properties that went off market in the first 8 days. Then I'll look at the next set of properties that went off market between 10 and 80 days. And then I'll look at the next set of properties that went off market 80 days or more. So let's go ahead and take a look at that map. Here's our 0 to 8 days on market. And we can see where those lie. Let me bring this back out like this for us. Here we go. And drop that up there. So you get the concentrations here. We've got West Seattle. We've got the Del Ridge ridge here, so to speak. We've got the center point and heading down here, and a high concentration over here in the Ballard section. Let's go to the 10 through 80 timing frame. Some Magnolia, we've got, again, Ballard, etc. And we'll do the same thing now here. Where are our 80 or more? So quickly, our first set, 186 properties currently in pending status went off market in 8 days or less. And then for those properties that were between 10 days and 80 days, there's 116 versus 186. And then finally, 66 properties that had been on market for 80 days or more that are currently in pending status. Let's take a look at the actives and use the exact same set of filtering here. So we've got currently 96 properties on market that have come on market in the last 8 days that are available for contracting, we'll call it. And then we have 130 properties that are in the 10-day to 80-day period. And that's just kind of an arbitrary number, the 10, but I put it in there. And then finally, we've got 103 that have been on market for 80 days or more. Okay, now we're going to do, and this is the last portion here, we are going to go ahead and take a look at the statistics for each one of these sets. So for what I've done is I've scaled it down one more time. I've put another filter on this of only 3-bedroom homes. So we have currently 90 3-bedroom homes in transaction that are 8 days or less on market. And let's take a look at the numbers on that. For those, let's do with the 82 that are actually that did that and are in direct pending status. We've got an average of 800. I'm going to round numbers up and down. We're going to be 815,000 with a 476 price per square foot. Next up, for those 10 to 80 days on market, we had 90 of those that were 8 days or less. Now we're going to look at only 50 that are between 10 days and 8 days, and our stats on those will give us, let's see here, looks like that is not going to work for me on this sheet. We are at 43 of those, whatever that number was, 50, and we're at 886 886 versus 815. So you can see the differential there. That's the the 10 to 80 day market. 493 price per square foot versus 476 price per square foot. Let's jump up to the next grouping here. This is your 80 day plus. There's only 27 of those that are in transaction right now. And for those, 822 average last list price for the ones that are pending, and for the ones that are currently pending inspection, it's down at 750, 725 on median, 739 on median. Interesting. It's a radically different set of numbers. Price per square foot, 488, 457 versus 493 versus 476. All right, now let's jump into the actives and do the same game on that, and then we'll call it quits here. We've got 41 current active properties that are 3 bedrooms and that have been on market for only 8 days. And the statistics on those show us an 825 and 760 average and median. 476, that looks really familiar to me. I believe we are at 476 right there for those pendings as well. So those guys are priced in the sweet spot there. Let's go to, and that was 41 of those. Let's go now next to the 10 days to 80 days, and let's take a look at that grouping of actives for 39 of those. I think we were at 41 on the last one, 41 and now 39, so it's evenly split there. 532 per square foot, however, versus the 476, and an active or an average price of 956 with a median, call it at 800. Right? And then finally, our grouping of 80 days or more on market. There's 24 of those, 620 price per square foot, 987 on median, and 1386, 387, etc. for average price. So you can see the differentials there. I see one other thing I should have checked, and I'm going to run it right real quickly here for you. The actual square footages averages. 1733 and 1489 for the pendings and pending inspections that are off market in 8 days or less. 1766 and 1672 for those that are in the 10 to 80 days. But, again, 1744 and 1677 for those that are pending in the 10 to 80 days market. Now let's go take a look at the actives and see if those numbers change much. 1772 for the current actives that are 8 days or less on market. 1793 is starting to go up a little bit for the 10 days to 80 days. But I think this is where I saw, a radical difference there. 2136. So the larger properties, also with a higher price per square footage and a higher price, our geographical layout shows us that those are definitely, let's see if I can get this highlighter to work here, a little bit more exclusive locations. That's not exclusive there, but these are along here, Queen Anne, etc. Let's go take a look here with this grouping. This is our 10 to 80. And here's our 8 days or less in terms of our actives. So if we apply what they call the rule of thirds, which is in photography, we can see here that our numbers somewhat reflected that. We've got 90, 50, 27. Well, that actually is more of a golden rule, a golden number where they're continuing to drop. But I believe in the active grouping, 24, 39, 41. Yeah, a little bit closer to that. So I was stretching a bit on that one. Okay, well, that's it for the report. But we'll take one last peek here, and we're looking at where currently pending properties have gone off market in 8 days or less since the beginning of the year. And interestingly, Tacoma and Puyallup at 698 basically are leading the region. 629 for the Seattle region, 382 in the north section, Everett, etc. Bellingham has its piece of the pie, so to speak. 137 in Olympia. I love seeing this over here in La Push. You've got one, and I've got one over here in the southwestern peninsula. 629, 382. Let's drop in on this and break these out a little bit. That was covering the entire area. So here's Sammamish Plateau, Seattle, South Seattle, and north 123. That's pretty strong up there. 125. Let's make our way north here. Now we're just breaking down into the where they lay. You can see Bellingham. Now let's go down and take a look at that Tacoma set and Puyallup up and see what we got out of that. Where's the lion's share of that taking place here? There we go. That's pretty healthy all the way across the board. And then finally, let's do the Olympia thing. Let's head down I-5, and there they are. So the region has a lot of properties going off market in 8 days or less. And that is the start of the year right there. Okay, Bruce Ferris, Windermere Real Estate. It is the 11th of February. That does it for today's slice of the market this week in Seattle real estate. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.